All right. Let's keep things moving here. I'll turn on my volume. So I want to do a quick video. I blame Will for this. Will directed me to the podcast there, and that they have over there. We all know the channel. So they were basically talking about. Well, at the end of the podcast, the last 20 minutes is all I listened to. So the first 20 minutes was the same old blah, 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 waiting for your free Nassar money. Give me a life, give me a break type stuff. Give me my free money so I don't have to do anything. And then, of course, we rolled into the, executive orders, and everything's being seized and everything's being locked up, and, nobody's getting paid, and China's sending boats over. Same executive order logic. China keeps sending boats even though their stuff's getting seized. They're just not smart enough to stop it. Because technically, those aren't Chinese goods, and they're American goods. So, but the last 20 minutes basically dove into something that, in regards to what me and Will. So I know they're listening to me and Will, so they'll probably watch this. In regards to what I said, my video that I did on my page in regards to Africa. And that Africa is kind of an important continent right now, and there's a lot of stuff moving towards that Africa. And I'm giving you this information, early on, because I can see the moves that they're making and the moves that's going forward, and the investment and the stuff like that, like China and things like that. So I did a video on that, kind of giving you the idea of the Great Reset and that. So I wanted to dive in because somebody said that everybody's moving to Africa, and I didn't say everybody's moving to Africa. I just say a lot of these big CEOs and stuff, and why they're retiring. And I kind of wanted to get into that. So the first thing is I bear with me for when it come on a journey with me, a journey of critical thinking and thought-provoking conversation, in regards to the possibilities that is before us. One of the possibilities is the governments are just waiting on standby right now and ready to give us, each and every one of us, millions of dollars so that we can go ahead and spend, because of all of the pain and suffering in which we've gone through at the hands of government officials, the evilness of the government officials, the politicians who have stolen from us for thousands of years, and they've come to realize their error of their ways, and rather than run for countries with no extradition, they would rather say, you know what, we're going to give each and every one of you on the planet millions of dollars, because that, and only free money would make everything better, rather than make you work for what you deserve, and make you think and focus and learn and be acknowledgeable, and rather than you earn everything that you should get, even though we complain about giving away participation trophies, you want your participation trophy of millions of dollars. Now I know this is and because of that, these CEOs who have done all this bad and are losing all their goods and terrified of being arrested and having military tribunals with absolutely no justice and no law and order, in which the president, which they have chosen, is a big component of law and order. But we're going to get rid of all that. We're going to put the military in charge, and the military is 100% in charge, even though everything that's happening, if you can actually stop to think about it, in regards to what's going on with Trump and everything else, it doesn't look that way. That they're going to give you all this money and give you all this free stuff and give you all this opportunity to be rich just like them, even though you did nothing for it. Each and every one of us on the planet. That is a possibility, and we're going to go with possibility A, right? That's possibility A. Now, possibility B is, and I just so happen to be leaning more towards one side than the other. Possibility B is that the stock market's at an all-time high, right? Responsibilities of being a CEO are monstrous, extremely overwhelming when it comes to that. I run my own company, and I've dealt with big CEOs and big companies, and the amount of pressure that I go through sometimes, I don't sleep at night. I don't sleep at night much, and it is. But it's immensely amount of pressure when I have to deal with projects and stuff like that. And if something goes wrong, I know the repercussions of my actions and things like that. Stock market's at an all-time high. Government's looking to tax the rich. They say it all the time. Raise taxes, this and that and this and that. You got the social credit score crap coming. You've got all this other stuff that's literally on its way. It's being written in there. And if I cash out now because of how high the stock market is, because remember, you sell when it's high and buy when it's low. If I cash out now, I'm going to be on top of the world. But if I wait until it's too late and it all goes down, well, I'm going to lose a lot of money. Now, with the opportunities of me cashing out now, getting rid of some of this, I can do lots of things. I can be a paid consultant in regards to some of these other startup corporations and startup companies in other countries. I could start some up myself. I see, because I'm smart enough to be a CEO, unlike a lot of other people, I can see opportunity when it's thrusted upon me. I can see opportunity when it's there for the taking. See, money chases money. And when you're that smart, either you get out and you get back down and you just say, I'm good to go. I've got mine, and I'm going to let it go. Or you step out and say, well, I'm going to do some consulting. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I mean, if you think about it, how your president of the United States, Obama, leaves the office and makes more money than when he was president of the United States, right? So opportunities, this is B. Opportunities could be out there in the way of the new tech revolution. I mean, we all can see that tech is going to rule the world. We're no longer going to be building, heavy, big things. We're going to be building phones that are smaller and faster, and computers that are smaller and faster, and 5G and metadata and virtual glasses and everything like that. So tech and high speed and processing and chips and computer chips, and that's the wave of the future. That's where money is going to be. That's, if you're going to chase money, you're probably not chasing money on old cars. You're chasing money on new cars. So if you were going to be a new person who wanted to chase money, who wanted to join the tech revolution, where you're going to need a lot of natural resources, and you're going to need a whole new people to sell things, because let's face it, we're now at a point where we're trying to find the cheapest way out of phones and tech. We want to save a dime here, save a dime there, save. So huge profits aren't over here. So you would find a new business, a new place to sell your goods, and that selling of those new goods would be someplace like Africa. Why Africa? Well, we got a couple reasons why Africa, and this is kind of why I brought this up, and why other channels are also bringing this up. So let's start here. Why Jack Dorsey and major tech figures are suddenly interested in Africa. What? Jack Dorsey is a good company when it comes to Africa. CEO Twitter has announced last month that he would be spending 6 months in Africa. Let's go down, blah, blah, blah. Now, you guys are welcome to find this one, CNBC. You can type in there, why Jack Dorsey. It'll pop up in Google. You can find this one yourself. But some of the other ones that are in here, bet your bets. Major companies are taking notice that have launched startup accelerated programs to help get more companies off the ground. Microsoft said in May that it will spend $100 million in its first African Development Center starting in Kenya. Facebook, Google have both African accelerated programs. Chinese conglomerate Alibaba is a similar program. In December, Alibaba co-founder Mike Jack published an op-ed in New York Times outlining the next digital revolution driven by African entrepreneurs. So this is where we are at. And let me hear. And then it goes into the infrastructure and stuff like that. This is why China's heading that way. We're heading that way. Wi-Fi is going into that way. Stuff like that. So, tech leader weighs in Jack Dorsey's plan to move to the continent, and it kind of goes into that he's heading that way because of, opportunity. Why Africa? But one of the other things, African 54 countries and 1.2 billion representatives in the on one of the last blue oceans for global tech growth, because it's newfound land there. They don't have a lot of tech. So diving in now, you get rich rather than waiting for someone else to dive in there. Let's continue on. This is another one. You can, look this up. This is, let's see, PlentyEnergies.com. Africa is the continent of the future. Experts unanimously agree that after years of fairly slow development, Africa is now undergoing rapid growth. The pundits, however, are divided into two categories. So their thought process is it can go one of two ways. If they don't jump in, Africa and their population growth is going to cause it to crash and burn, worse than it is now. Or if you do jump in and it does get going, you're going to be rich like you've never been rich because there is so many people there. Why Africa's future growth is about the long game. There's another kind of topic there. This one's actually a podcast from the Foreign Council of Relations. And you can go ahead and listen to this, but I'll just kind of give you the gist of it. In most African counties, 70% or more of the population is under the age of 30. A young bulk of that is projected to accelerate for decades to come. Some experts feel that if properly harnessed, the youth boom could be propelled to the continent to new levels of economic and geopolitical power. Others suggest that without innovation, the rapid development of this mass job creation, it could instead lead to worse levels of poverty, unemployment, and conflict. In the meantime, countries such as China are moving quickly to invest into Africa's future, while the United States and other Western nations have taken more of a passive role. So, again, this is what I talked about. China was jumping way into there, and we're behind, and that could hurt us. Now, we have, let's pull this one down here, because I want to make sure I give you more stuff than, dates that never happen. Silicon Valley has deep pockets for African startups. Where's this one? United States. This is from the U.S. Department of State. United States and Africa building the 21st century partnership. And this goes in. You can watch this video if you'd like. And it kind of just goes into the fact that we are realizing that, we need to be a part of that. U.S. trade and investment in Africa. This kind of goes into basically how a lot of startup companies are jumping into there. The rise of African tech startups. This goes into the same thing, and it even shows a graph. In 2020, you can kind of see this line and how African, plus 46%. This is the percentage of startups receive venture capital funding by stage in African and in the United States. So we're looking at 2019, and they are pretty much rocking and rolling over there in the early stages of things. So you're kind of looking at, okay, here's basically right now you invest average return on investors. So here your average return is 15%. Here it's 2.7%. But like I said in the stock market, buy low, sell high. You would probably want to sell here to buy here so that this one goes up this way. That's kind of how things work. That one is not the one we're looking at. So what I basically wanted to say is, although you can go around selling your story of Nisara Gasara, the trust that's going to open up and all the gold's going to spew out and rain gold coins, and all the countries are going to live one big happy family in peace and unity. Nobody's going to fight, and it's everybody's living in lands of beauty and flowers and tulips and sunshine. And the fact that governments all over the world are ready to give you the population, they're ready to give up all of the leverage in which they have over you. All of the leverage in which makes people do what they need them to do in regards to working so that you don't have to work. They're ready to give you this money because right now, if everybody stopped working, we wouldn't all starve to death. Yeah, that's going to happen. because we're so good with money. We're so good with money that, you know, how many lottery people win the lottery and yet that money that's gone in no time? How many people have given a lot of money playing baseball, basketball, football, and the money, then they're broke now? You're so good with large quantities of money. We should give you a large quantity of money and hope for the best. I don't know. I'm getting to the point where it's kind of scary that grown adults that I truly hoped would have more ability to critical thinking and common sense, now would actually consider the fact that they think that the government's going to give them large sorts of money. They're just going to hand it to them. That this economy and this world and everything around you right now is ready to give it to you. It's already, we're at a point now where it's already been activated. It's already ready to go. It's ready to go. Ready to kick off tomorrow. I mean, this is what people are saying. It scares me. It literally scares me. If anybody can watch the podcast that I did with CanCon yesterday, it's on my Spotify or Podbean, right? It's on my podcast channel, which my links are on my channel. We spoke with a Ivy League doctor about the shots. We spoke to an Ivy League doctor from Columbia, a PhD Ivy League person. That's the type of people that eventually, me and Will are going to start talking to. We're also going to do some other stuff, but it's just amazing that if nobody else knows about this, no other highly intelligent people are bringing this or even telling anybody about it. Nobody of any real educational levels, real, knowledge in how the world works is talking about this. You'd think they would. I mean, how could you keep this secret? Why would you want to keep this secret? Why would you? How could you? You wouldn't. But when grown adults can want to talk about this, it kind of makes me, to be honest, a little nervous in regards to where society is going. Right? I mean, be honest. If you truly believe, and do me a favor, and I'm asking Mike from Liberty Warrior, we're welcome to come on our show. I would love for you to come on our show. Completely respectful debate. Leave it in the comments. Do you truly believe what some of the people are saying, that Nassara is ready to be inactivated, that all this stuff is ready to be inactivated, the military is ready to take over, and they're all going to save us, that he's allowed this much pain, suffer, and agony and to happen so that he can give us all money? What would happen tomorrow if you had $4 million? Tomorrow. What would happen tomorrow if somebody came to you and said, we're going to pay you $5,000 a month? What would happen to a lot of people out here if the government just said, we're going to give you $5,000 a month? You don't have to work. They would all quit their jobs. Well, you still have to work, but we're going to give you $5,000 extra a month. Well, I don't want to work for then. I want to do what I want to do. Well, no, you can't. You still have to work. Well, that's communism. I mean, right now, do you think in any way, shape, or form, do you know where we would have to be for this to work? Everything would have to be robotic. Everything. Everything that you don't want to do would have to be robotic. Because I'm not going to lie to you. You give me $5,000 a month, I'll give up fucking for the rest of my life. I'll give up freight. Is it as much as I'm making? It's not, but it's easier. It's easier to do nothing for $5,000 a month, or $10,000 a month, or $20,000 a month. Just think about it. You tell me when this can be enacted. You tell me when the government can pay you $5,000, $6,000, $10,000 a month. I mean, a realistic number of $5,000 a month. $1,000 a week. I'm just going to round up. You tell me what it would actually take. Because has any of you sat down and thought about what it would actually take for that to happen? Every single thing would have to be robotic. Every single thing. Because if not, if I don't like this job that I do, or I don't like you, or I don't like the clothes that you're wearing, I'm not making your burger. Just think about what would have to happen for the world to get money from the government. But this is the problem. This is why I'm going to be having a PhD doctor from an Ivy League school who studies in psychology and psychiatry and type stuff like that on my show to talk about this mindset, this mental problem. The problem that grown adults are now at this point in society. Without a thought process, without even putting it together, without even thinking what truly would happen. What truly would happen tomorrow? You think it's going to enact tomorrow? Let's do it. Let's just pretend. Just pretend with me for 5 minutes. Pretend tomorrow everybody in the world got $10,000 a month. What would happen? I'm not working. I'm getting $10,000 a month forever? Nope. But you think it's ready to go. You listen to people like Phil Godlewski, who says it's ready to go and it's coming this month. Really? I can tell you, is it possible? Sure. It's 100% possible to do that. The problem is what you'd have to have actively there. You'd have to have a robot or machinery or software to basically do every single job that people are going to quit. Or they'd have to get rid of some services. There would be no trash pickup because I'm not picking up your trash. Not if I'm being paid $10,000. No, thank you. Every service, every system, everything would have to be. All right? Or you're going to force me to work. You're going to give me this money, then tell me I have to work? How's that going to go? How do you like doing things that you're forced to do? How well do you do them? Fire me. Oh, I just hurt my leg. I'm still getting my $10,000 a month from the government. Oh, my back. Oops, I screwed up that whole thing. Fire me. Darn. I'll try to find another job. I think I'm disappointed. I think that's the biggest upset. That's the biggest problem. That's the biggest one for me. I'm disappointed in the leadership that we have here in society, let alone our political leadership. All right, I'm going to end this one here. I just want to ramble on for, I don't know what I do, 30 minutes? Yeah, about 23 minutes. If anybody wants to talk about it, if anybody wants to go back and forth, if anybody wants to have an honest debate, an honest discussion. I did talk to Phil on Telegram, and he won't debate me, even though he said he would. He won't debate me. That's fine. But that's how our country was formed. That's how medical decisions get made. That's how intelligent people basically figure things out, through honest debate. But, like I said, I'm going to end this one here. And if anybody can tell me if Nassara came tomorrow, I want you to honestly answer this. And I know you won't put it in the comments, but I'm at, or at least the people that feel it's going to come. Please tell me if it happened today or tomorrow and everybody in the world got $10,000 a month, how could we possibly function? And then sit down and stop for a second and honestly think what would have to be in place for that to happen. Robots, right? Don't tell fall. All right. I'm going to end this one here.